Welcome everyone to this press conference. My name is Steph Valdez. I am a member of the Northeast Action Collective and I work for the Coalition of the Environment, Equity, and Resilience, and I am a longtime resident of Precinct 2. We are here today to call on commissioners to center community members and community needs as they shape the fiscal year 2026 budget. The county provides critical services to so many of its residents, and the services the county provides are key to our health, our well-being, and our safety. The county is building this budget at a critical moment across country. Healthcare, environmental protections are being cut, housing support is being rolled back, and our civil rights and human dignity are under attack. In Texas and in the United States, our democratic rights are being rapidly oppressed. We call on the commissioners to keep this in context in mind and to put forward a budget that counteracts these dangerous trends and centers the need of the community. It is not too late to stop the delay or decrease the massive police pay hike, the $100 million raise, to stop the delay and indirect cause of the service cuts that will make our lives worse. There will be 3 speakers today. We have Andy Escobar, Courtney Rebels, and David Espinosa. Each will describe how the budget will impact them, their community. At the close, I will take questions and open space up for more people to respond. I want to introduce our first speaker today, Andy Escobar with the Coalition of the Environment, Equity, and Resilience. Woo, Andy!
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andy Escobar, and I serve as the campaigns manager with Coalition for Environment, Equity, and Resilience, also known as CEER. CEER was founded in response to Hurricane Harvey to bring together environmental, social justice, civil rights, climate, and other community advocate organizations in Houston to build a better way forward. We are proud to have worked with Harris County's Office of Sustainability in the development of the first ever county-wide climate justice plan in the nation. Our coalition also championed Harris Thrives, a resolution passed by Harris County commissioners intended to create an equitable approach to flood resilience. I am alarmed by the Harris County budget deficit. Harris County's rapidly expanding population is now coupled with the state and federal government creating roadblocks for local governments as they try to gather resources for their constituents and defunding social service programs. The public is receiving conflicting messages regarding the budget deficit and the solutions to address this issue. We understand that many of our neighbors are concerned about public safety, and especially during this hurricane season, especially as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. Our elected county leaders are sharing conflicting messages regarding the amount, and we need some real solutions. CEER is guided by an 8-point plan, and one of those points is transparency, ensuring open and formal processes to inform the public about how each jurisdiction is prioritizing its investments. Harris County leaders must be transparent about why they're choosing to prioritize raising law enforcement salaries at the expense of pollution control, housing and community development, public health and engineering services, at a time when FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the National Weather Service, and the NOAA and other critical agencies are being cut by the Trump administration. Our local leaders should be prioritizing local emergency preparedness, response, and recovery programs, as well as environmental and pollution services. We affirm that taxes are not something that excite Harris County residents, and even more so the idea of raising them for working families that are already experiencing disproportionate poverty. Our electric bills are rising, polluters are not being held accountable, federal emergency services are getting defunded, and our response is to raise law enforcement salaries. I grew up in a Superfund site, so I know exactly what it's like to have the EPA and the Texas Commission for Environmental Quality fail you. My parents still live on this location, and it is still harmful for our health. And Harris County is the last line of defense for our safety. Expanding police budgets is not in alignment with our values, especially to the detriment of the essential services that we rely on. Furthering the expansion of police is the goal of Abbott, Trump, and their private corporate interests, not the goal of the people of Harris County. We ask the commissioners to reconsider the law enforcement salary increase until revenue sources become readily available to revisit with voter approval. Thank you.
Now we will have Courtney Rebels with the Northeast Action Collective.
Woo, Courtney! Hello, and thank you for being here today to listen to the needs and goals of the community members who will be impacted by the Harris County budget. My name is Courtney Rebels. I am a lifelong community member of Harris County, a resident, a mother, and community organizer. I live in Northeast Houston in Precinct 1. Like other neighborhoods in the county, my community faces public health challenges like high levels of pollution and constant risk of flooding and natural disaster, and general disinvestment from our government. The county commissioners cannot in good conscience pass a budget that reduces our level of services even more and make our lives more difficult. At the federal level, DOGE and the Big Beautiful Bill have cut Medicaid and Medicare that so many of us rely on. They cut HUD that helps us recover from disasters. They're cutting FEMA, which helps with rapid response and preparedness. They're cutting SNAP in a time where many members of the Harris County community are hungry or are facing food insecurity. And as the federal government has weakened the EPA, it just makes it more difficult for the communities to get these toxic exposures out of our community, which we already know Harris County is full of. Not to mention, and to make matters worse, many vaccines are being removed from insurance approval. Harris County's budget should protect us from all of these risks, but it looks like instead it's cutting the very same programs. The county commissioners that support these cuts say our level of service and the ability to support families like mine will be unaffected. We don't believe that at all. Just this spring, the city claimed the same thing, that they could find cost savings, but if you go to my neighborhood and neighborhoods like mine, you'll see piles of trash piled up everywhere. Efficiency is not a magic trick. We believe that in the end, the budget will mean at least 100 million cuts, but even if the number is a bit lower, it's impossible to achieve that without decreasing the quality of care and the services that we receive. The commissioners who support the budget cuts need to come clean to the community. Our lives must be driven these conversations must be driven by our lives and our communities and not political games and aspirations. As a parent of a student in HISD who has fought the state takeover, this feels all too familiar. The budget is full of secrecy. It takes away our ability to democratically participate in the decision making, and it's being pushed forward under a set of false claims and assumptions. Harris County is already underserved, and the pressure the county services face are only going to get worse as federal and state policies roll out. We know the main driver for these cuts is to pay for police hikes, but we also know that there will be plenty of police funding available. We know the proposal for police raises could be put to a vote, the democratic process, but it was not. And this is what's happening. Instead, there's very little transparency and very little input for the services that will be cut. At this point, those cuts are very dangerous and very permanent. We are not children. We do not believe that you can provide the same level of services, which are already insufficient, with less money. Commissioners, it's not too late. We call on you to come in and find a way to protect the services we rely on. We do not need to be Doge. We do not need to Doge ourselves, and we do not need to bake in cuts that will impact us forever. It's time to center the needs of the community in this time where governments are serving us less and less. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Now we have David Espinosa with West Street Recovery and the Northeast Action Collective.
Hello, good morning. Buenos dias. I'm David Espinosa. I live in Precinct 2 in the unincorporated area of Harris County of East Aldie. At the beginning of this budget discussion, we were hit by the news that 3 of our commissioners were in support of this $100 million raise for the Harris County Sheriff's Office. Over time, we have heard that this raise was to prevent us from losing officers to HPG, who have been given a raise by the city despite their budgetary woes, in exchange for cutting essential services. As of now, we know that the city has been behind on trash pickup, ditch maintenance, anything that requires labor, because we had told them and we had explained to them in detail that they were already understaffed and underfunded in these departments. The massive law enforcement raise is inexplicable, considering we've been told we were in a deficit. Other departments that are not law enforcement are being told they had to make cuts and magically, somehow, not harm essential services. Unlike the constables or the sheriffs, these departments don't have the power of the police to make ultimatums. Because that's what this looks like to me. An ultimatum made to our representatives in the county. Either we pay them $100 million or they walk. Either to work at HPD or some other departments across the country. So much for protect and serve. We expect from our police force to serve and protect their community, not to leave because they were offered their 30 pieces of silver. The starting pay as of now is more than most people in my community make, plus benefits. Really good benefits most of us would be thrilled to have. And when the minimum wage has not shifted in this state for the rest of the working class, you are asking us to cover the bill? The folks who are on fixed incomes? The folks who are already being robbed of the benefits we earn by the federal and state governments? The folks with sick family members? Now, I know Commissioner Garcia mentioned a while back about not approving spending unless he sees data to see the viability of a program. I think that's a good idea. What the community needs is to see that the Harris County Sheriff's Office and the constables are committed to protecting and preserving life and property without prejudice to anyone. That's a quote from their website. That they actually are able to de-escalate, that they're not using excessive force at routine stops, that they will not treat prisoners with dignity and respect, instead of letting them die in their cells before they, the police, see a single cent. Now, our community is not anti-police, but they want the police to be the humble servants they claim to be, who are the guardians of the community. There needs to be a focus on the morale of our community, and not so much on the morale that comes from a paycheck. A focus on proactive community building instead of reactive, punitive measures that keep us down. As of now, however, this raise is irresponsible. It just doesn't make sense, because not a single commissioner has mentioned how they're going to pay for it. They will lie and say that there are no cuts, but you can't add to the deficit and not balance the budget. It's Texas law. And once the final budget is out, you will see that I'm telling you the truth. And the truth is, if they go forward with this bad budget, this bad plan, Garcia and Briones are going to be out of a job come November 2026. And Ramsey will follow soon after. Because they can go down in history as the people who saved Harris County policing, but they will go down as the people who doomed Harris County. Thank you.
Let's give it up for our speakers one more time. Woo! Thank you all. Now I'll go ahead and open it up for questions. Claro que sí, claro que sí. Estamos aquí hoy para hablar sobre lo que está sucediendo en el condado. Estamos hablando sobre cómo esto es lo que están intentando de empujar con el aumento de pago para los policías del condado. Va a estar afectando los servicios públicos del condado de Harris. Esto es una idea muy peligrosa porque no sabemos cómo lo vamos a estar pagando. Es $100 millones que pueden ir a servicios públicos y van a estar yendo hacia los policías. Lo que estamos pidiendo es que los comisionados Adrián García y comisionado Leslie Briones hagan algo diferente y retiren este plan que tienen para pasar este aumento de los policías. Stephanie Valdez. Gracias. Any other questions? Questions? No? 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 All right. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Please get involved. Please go inside and make comments if you can. Thank you all so much for being here.